You're live.
And we are live once again. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Prince Magnum channel where hot rodding and romance do coexist. I'm your host, Prince Magnum. Welcome to another live stream. In this live stream, I know right now a lot of people are going to, like, I can't do nothing. I can't get out. I can't, I can't do this. I can't do that. During these tough times, there's still plenty to do. So, to kind of hopefully inspire you to find that next project around home, wherever you're at, whatever's going on, we're going to do the ignition panel here on Project Spirit. Now, when I'm talking about the ignition panel, I'm talking about that custom plate that houses the ignition switch and the starter button here on Project Spirit. It's in place, but it doesn't look like much right now. So what we're going to do is I'm basically going to disconnect the battery. We're going to pull that piece out without disconnecting anything. And then once that piece comes out, we're going to sand it, we're going to prime it, and we're going to put it, paint it, and put it back into place, looking pretty much like it should have always been that way. So that's the objective today. It's a small project, but in the hopes that this blows over quick enough, car show season can really get underway. We want to be ready, okay? So that's what we're going to be doing today. Now, we're going to basically, the work will start as soon as people start filing in. Again, this is a little bit earlier than what we normally do for the lives. Usually I like to go about 7, 8 o'clock in the evening, sometimes a little bit before that, but it's one of these chances that the weather has broke. So we're going to take full advantage of this now. And of course, afterwards, we'll talk about, what we did and all that good stuff, and maybe even answer some questions. All right. So real quick, honey, how many are in the live at the moment?
One.
One. Okay, that's good enough for me right now. All right, so the first thing that we're going to do is disconnect the battery. Okay. Now, some people will say to disconnect the negative. Wrong, because it's still drawing power from the positive. So that's where we're going with this. And I've got this on there good and tight. But it will slide right off, just like that. Okay. So now she is disconnected. All right, we're going to come over here. And honey, you might want to slide in so people can get an angle. You probably know better than now than anybody else on how this goes together. So now we've got the power disconnected.
It's GoTans. He says hi.
Hey, go Tans, go Tons. I never fully. He'll have to tell me if I got it right. How you doing, buddy? We're doing a quick, some quick work to Project Spirit, which means I gotta slide my very fumbly hands up here and take these pieces out. Oh my gosh, I got that in there. There it goes.
He says you said his name right. GoTans.
Go to okay. Awesome. Thank you so much, buddy, for joining the live. I know normally we go live a whole lot later than this, but the weather's broke and the temperature is nice, and I didn't want to wait till it got too dark. This piece. This is the fun part, moving all this stuff around.
He says you dropped a like.
Thank you, buddy. Appreciate it. Again, this hopefully will inspire you all to get to do something, to remain positive through these dark times. There's always something to do, always. Especially when you got a classic car around, there's always something to work on. Now, there will be times I will not be able to hear you all. And I do apologize now for anybody, because when working on a car, it's not uncommon. I get a foul mouth, so I do apologize. But hey, I put up the thing that says not exactly made for children. But parents, if you're watching with your young ones, I will do my best to refrain. Gotta be careful so I don't knock any wires loose.
He says, that's what I like about you, Prince. Cheer us up.
I will do my very best. First time in a long time I've went live doing something like this. But we're going to stay busy. As long as the weather cooperates, we're going to stay busy. Thank you, honey, for keeping me updated. Oh. There we go. Oh, man. I got it.
Hi, Go Tans.
Ha-ha! There you go. You can actually see those switches now. Kind of hidden in behind there. Boy, he put those in there tight, but that's what I wanted. That's it. That's the panel we put on earlier. And I'm willing to bet that's how I initially wanted it on there. It was like that, but it don't matter as long as it goes back on. You know, well, that's it. So it will be a little difficult for me to kind of operate from here. So some of the time Princess Faye will be on her phone, kind of doing what she do. And
Sean says, what you need there is a Phillips, not a flathead.
no, that was a flat. Those are flathead screws. All right, and I'll show you how all of this works. Can they see me? Can they see what's going on? Okay.
You just do your thing. You let me focus about the camera.
Yes, dear. Yes, dear.
It's gonna get shit. It's gonna get kind of loud when that thing turns on.
Yeah.
Okay.
There we go. That doesn't look too terribly bad. What do you guys think?
Gotan says it's looking good.
Awesome. Now, the fun part. Now that we've got this all straightened out, grab something that'll, paper towels. We're gonna wipe that down. Both sides. All right? Just like that. There we go. Now, this is not the most extravagant project I've, but it is something simple enough that I can do live. Now, because I have to hang it somewhere and paint,
Sean says it's a big difference and it looks great.
thank you, Sean. Appreciate that. Appreciate that. It's going to look even better here shortly. Now, basically, this is some craft wire that I procured from my lovely wife. So now I can kind of hold it up and spray it out like that, okay? And what I'm going to be using is kind of a two-stage primer in this case. Basically, I've got some Rust-Oleum self-etching primer, which is really strong stuff. It's the same stuff that we used on the taillight panel of Project Spirit. So that's going to be the first stage. Once this, a good coat of this is on and it's dry, it tacks up, then we're going to hit it with a couple of light coats of 2-in-1 fillable and sandable primer from Rust-Oleum as well. And then when all that is said and done with, once this dries enough, we're going to hit this with some steel wool to kind of knock the glaze down. And then we're going to hit it with our matte black finish, the same stuff that we used on the taillight panel. Okay? So, this is the fun stuff. Alrighty. Honey, I'm gonna need you from here on the camera because we're gonna have to walk it down that way, away from all the vehicles. Overspray is a bad thing, guys. Overspray is a bad thing. We don't want to do that to other people's vehicles. I was gonna say you can. Oh, I see what you're doing. Okay, you genius. You genius. We should still be close enough to the modem where it shouldn't be too big of an issue.
I hope not. I'm gonna double check though.
Now, while I'm doing what I'm doing, let me say the first thing when it comes to rattle can paint. The first thing that I'm going to say is you cannot shake these enough, but now saying that you can you cannot shake them enough, but you can't shake them enough, sort of thing. Basically, make sure you shake this thing for a good few minutes if you can, and in between your coats, shake it a little bit more, okay? You'll be glad that you did. All right.
I can't get super close, guys. If I get too close, the video quality goes down.
Okay. I can see what's going
on. That wind's trying to keep you from painting.
Right.
Maybe drop your hand down to where the wire connects to itself so you can control it better.
I think it's going to be pretty well the same. Yeah.
Not what I said to do, but that's fine.
Now, we also want to avoid runs. Runs are bad. With paint and without. Now that we finished this, we're going to start letting this first coat tack up. So we're done with the self-etching. The first thing that we're going to do, though, we're going to turn it upside down, clear that nozzle, okay? Spray it out so you don't see a whole lot in the way of paint. And that way, it keeps the nozzle from getting clogged up. All right, so the next stage is we go to the 2-in-1 sandable primer. And the reason being is it'll help fill in any possible swirls or scratches that we didn't get.
They can't hear you.
Okay, I'll walk a little closer. What we're going to do is we're going to let this tack up a little bit. We're going to hit it with another coat. We don't have to go as far as we did with the taillight panel, which was like 3 coats of primer and then like 3 coats of the matte black. What we're going to do, though, is we're going to kind of let this tack up here in just a moment. Then I'm going to hit it with the sandable primer once on each side. And what this is for is to fill in any possible scratches or swirls, swirl marks. We don't want that because we wanted this to look as nice and presentable as possible. Now, we're always going to run into that problem where it's never going to look perfect, but we're going to get it as nice looking as we can. All right, so, okay, we're green.
Not literally green. He means green as in good.
Good.
Drop your hand down to where the wire connects into itself so that you can control it better. There you go.
Okay, that doesn't look bad at all. We're good. All right. Now the next part of this. I thought for sure that I was going to run it. Actually, technically, there's not enough in there for me to do anything with, so we're going to be throwing it. Okay. There you go. There's where we're at so far. Now we got to let this get good and dry before we lightly scuff with the sandable, with the steel wool. You want to move back up here a little bit closer so you can sit down?
Go.
All right. All right. Any questions so far, guys? Remember, this is just another piece to that puzzle of that makes a show car. Okay, just another one of those pieces to the puzzle. So while we're waiting for this to tack up real good, now would be a good time to ask some questions or anything like that.
He said it looks new.
The funny thing is I actually made this myself. The Mavericks had a normal key switch like every other car. So this is actually handmade. Pretty cool, right? Well, you've seen it. You've seen me do it.
I helped you do it.
You did. You did. No, really, you did. And I'm glad you did. I'm giving you shit, honey. You better never take me serious when I act like that. Oh, yeah, she's...
It was a pretty thin coat, so just make sure you go kind of lightly with that scrubby.
Right.
You can't see it when you hold it up too high.
Well, I was looking at something for myself. So, this is the part that sucks, sitting here waiting for paint to dry. Before we would use the wires like this for hanging pieces up, used to lay it out on paper, would spray one side, then turn it over after it dry, and do the other side. It took forever. So this is a lot quicker. I kind of wish I had something over here that I could kind of hang it from, spray it, and then come back, that sort of thing. But I don't have that yet. But anything is possible yet, Thankfully, this particular stuff dries extremely quickly. Now, to kind of test if I can even touch it yet, notice I'm doing it on a corner, kind of away from everything. I'll give it about another minute.
I don't like you holding it like that.
Really, why?
Because you put pressure on it, and see, you've actually... you've messed up the edges a little bit. So you're leaving fingerprints.
Quit. That's going to be covered anyways. So it's okay.
I know. Quit touching it though.
I love you.
Do you want my artwork on that?
Yes.
So cute. There's a bit of a delay on my phone from what's happening in real life, and I looked down, and right as I looked down on the camera, you with the yes. So I got to witness that twice.
Oh, how the guys doing? How are we doing in the chat?
Goten's laughing at us because we're dumb.
Yeah. You'll be able to see better how many in the chat right now.
No, I can't see better. Yes, I can. Two people. It's me and Goten.
Okay. I think Sean still might be in there too.
So, 2 people.
Uh-huh.
I'm on it in my phone, and Goten just typed.
Okay.
Literally 2 people.
Okay.
Kind of mansplain me every 30 seconds.
I think we're okay. Primer dries fast.
Typically in my projects, I don't use primer.
Yeah, I know.
Just be really gentle, please.
I know what I'm doing.
I know you know what you're doing. It's meant to happen. This is why I don't mess with primer all that much. Because I hate the idea of scratching it.
That spot, no.
Told you.
Oh, good. You stop. Legitimately, I didn't even have to do this part, though.
Why are you doing it then? Goten says the master at work.
I don't know about all that, but I'm good at it. I started doing stuff like this when I was 16 years old, and believe me, it's been a lot of fun working on cars and things like that. So I mean, that's how it all started. I was 16 years old, and I didn't want what everybody else was driving. I wanted something different, and my dad did what he could to teach me as much as he could. Now, later years, I obviously got better through trial and error and just learning things. But, that's how it all started. So I guess during this downtime, you guys can, maybe, even if it's a car model or something, there's always something to learn about when it comes to cars. There's always something. And it's so much fun. When this all blows over, who knows? You all might decide you want projects of your own. And who knows what you guys will end up with. But anyhow, you ready for this? Final?
Is it ready to paint now?
I think so. It doesn't have to be super immaculate, but doggone it, I want it to look good. That's...
You could let me paint it.
Could. I could. You did the whole taillight panel. Like, here, let me take care of this little bit of business. Yeah, you did all right. I get to do hardly any.
You're leaving so many fingerprints.
Okay, it's on the edges. All right, this is it, guys.
Now, when you're out there painting, they're not going to be able to hear you.
Right. Hear me. But we're going to try. I'm going to try my best.
No, that's a skill I don't have. Opening a can of paint with one hand.
Practice, my dear.
Oh, sorry. I'm looking at him and not the camera.
I got a couple runs on that one, but I knew that would be a possibility. It's about as good as you can get. That wind's blowing really hard.
That'll just be the backside. It's fine.
I hope it's the backside.
It is now.
It is now. Now, there's a couple ways to deal with the runs on these when you're doing a piece like this. The first way is to let it dry, color sand, and then paint it again. Okay, that's the first way. The second way is to lightly keep going over it. You know, just keep building it up until that run disappears. The third way is basically at that point you hose the whole area and make it forcefully run till it drips off, and then once it drips off, it'll look clear then.
Yeah, there's a fourth way.
What's the fourth way?
Just make sure it's on the backside, and then it doesn't matter.
That is a fourth way. That is another option.
Which is the way we're going this time.
Now it's still going to have a nice textured look. So there you go. Now we just get the horrible part where we got to sit there and wait for it to dry.
And that's the part where we take it upstairs, right?
We can, but I was hoping to remount it.
Well, okay. We talked about this yesterday with painting. You need to let the paint sit for 24 hours before you can remount it.
Yeah, but I've got to put it back in. It'll be fine. It'll be fine.
Gotan says it looks clean.
That's the whole point, buddy. Oh, that does look good. That looks really good. Too bad the sun's. Let me see if I can get the sunlight to catch it. Probably not. But I know normally that is the case. We had to definitely do it with the shift knob. Y'all didn't hear that. The shift knob on there.
Nope, but they heard it twice now. If you don't want to hear about it, stop saying it.
Shh. Edited content. They don't know I'm doing it yet. So
They do now.
Okay. Sneaky peekies. All right, so we got to give this at least 10 minutes to get solid enough for me to mount back in. Even if it scuffs it, we're still okay. What?
I'll stand here for 10 minutes.
I was going to say, we're going to come back over here.
I'm just picking on you.
You are. I don't mind. You know that. I would hope you would. Give me some grief in my own life. Someone's got to give me some answers. All right. Put that there. They're working on something. Yeah, they're always working on something up there, those old houses. But no, that looks really good. I'm really happy with that. I know normally this would be the case, but you know, how am I supposed to drive Spirit tomorrow to work?
Sean says he's enjoying the live stream, the outdoor live stream.
Well, and see, I know a lot of for a lot of people that they're not going to be able to do a whole lot right now, but you can do something. There's plenty to do. You know, whether it's a car model, you know, we've done that. whether it's cooking. For some people, I've actually met a woman that she knew she was going to be under quarantine where she lived soon, just passing through our area, and she was heading basically back to St. Louis. She'd taken up crocheting again, you know. So there's always something to do. What is it you like to do? So do something, you know, do something with yourself. Don't let this, you know, turn into like some serious cabin fever. I know some people are going to be binge watching Netflix and other stuff like that, and that's fine. That's totally fine. But you know, is that something that at the end, you know, at the end of the day, you're going to feel like you've made an accomplishment on? You know, so ask yourself that. Um,
Nah, I would.
well, okay, well, you know, if you do feel accomplished at it, then shoot, who the heck am I? But
Gotans likes to skateboard, so if it doesn't really work if you're stuck inside.
yeah, that doesn't exactly work. But I can actually see that from his picture. I could, you know,
His picture is Dragon Ball Z-ish.
yeah, that
Which
just
is
sounds to me. It just sounds like he would have to be a skater. Just something about it. The screen skater. Okay, that in the language. You calm yourself. Don't give me any grief, woman. Nothing like a 40-year-old man sticking his tongue out at his wife. That's funny. So, this is kind of what I do. Now, where we're at with the quarantines that are starting to happen, you can go outside on your property. So, where we were at was perfectly legit. Now, I know in some places you cannot go outside at all. You stay inside, sort of thing. But I don't, it would depend, I guess, on where you live, but there's still always something to do. I'm actually wishing we had some puzzles when our quarantines, you know, when the quarantine happens in our area.
We do have a puzzle.
We do have a puzzle?
You got me one for Christmas one year, or for us it would be soul.
Right. That looks pretty damn good. I'm pretty happy with that, even despite the couple of runs that it did get. Right there and right there. But the runs, those aren't that bad, though. They're really not that bad. I can live with that. So that's not too bad, right? Considering the wind was blowing extremely difficult.
Yeah, the wind was giving you some grief.
Well, that's okay. I knew that that would be a possibility. That's one of the joys of working out, you know, painting outside is you could run into that. Notice I did the quotation thing.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, so, any questions for you guys on, you know, obviously on show cars? You know, anything that comes to mind? You know, when doing your own show car. When you're doing your own show car, the sky's the limit. You can think outside the box as much as you want, and that's what's so much fun about it. Is when you're doing the show stuff. You know, everyone. One of the other reasons why I'm glad I do the show stuff is when you start getting into the performance end, everyone thinks you have to do it a certain way, and it's got to have, you know, X amount of this, and it's got to do all that. And honestly, anymore with the way the modern times have been, I've kind of lost the flavor for the performance end of it all. I'd just rather just at this point stick to doing the show stuff. So, boy, I can actually see the reflection, and you can see how many is in chat.
Now, yeah.
Yeah, on yours, yeah.
Not when I was full screen at that time that you asked.
Oh well. I love you, dear. So, again, you know, this is just something that actually anybody could do the show stuff like this. It's really easy. It's you know, your imagination is your limitation. You know, how do you want it to look? I know in the earlier days when I would sit there with Spirit before we put her on the road, there would be days I would sit out there and just kind of look. Sometimes behind the wheel, how do I want it to look at the end of it? Now, your idea of that may change over time, but you'll get a good idea when you're sitting there with that project, you know, doing that sort of stuff. And it's a lot of fun. So sometimes the best moments happen, you know, with your project before you put them on the road. You know, just sitting there at that stage where you're just sitting inside them. How do I want it to look when it's all said and done with?
Gotan's leaving. Bye, Gotans. He
Thanks,
says, "Have a
Gotans,
good
for being here. Appreciate you.
He says, "Have a good stream, Prince. See you later. Bye."
Good guy. Good guy. I'm glad that he's one of us. You know? It's okay, even if I'm sure there might be a lurker or two. Sometimes that doesn't show up in chat. And even if it doesn't, to me, we're still streaming. Someone will.
There's 3 people in chat right now. One of them is me.
Okay. Awesome.
But nobody's saying anything, so.
Okay. Well, again, guys, feel free to say, to ask any questions, to say something, whatever. We're just finding something to do in these tough times. And believe me when I say, I know we're probably going to go live later. We're going to even probably just, shoot the breeze, while you're cooking, unless you want to cook live. No?
Can I have a lighter?
Yeah, baby. I'm not allowed to smoke on camera.
I'm not on camera. Sucks to be you.
Right.
No, I'm just teasing.
Here you go, baby. And as a promise to all of you who may be watching right now, that's between the ages of 18 and 20, when the U.S. law was passed that you guys weren't allowed to buy cigarettes anymore, for those of you in that age group that do smoke, I had made the final claim that as part of one of the things that was changing for the new year, I would not be smoking on camera. Because I don't feel it's right. I'd be rubbing it in you guys' face, even though that law didn't affect me. I'm 40 years old. It did not affect me at all. I still don't think it's right, so I'm going to continue with that.
I don't agree with the law either.
Huh?
I don't agree with the law either. That change was so ridiculous.
It
like
affects.
there's some of my coworkers can't buy their cigarettes now, and it's like, okay, I don't want to get all political on that, but it's really affected them. So
Yeah. So as a continuing continuing my promise that I would not smoke on camera, I meant exactly what I said. So I will not be smoking through this. And believe me, I want one. That did turn out pretty good. I mean, other than that one spot up there in the corner, but even I was a little iffy about that.
may I get a close look at it, please?
Yeah. Oh. It didn't turn out bad.
Some of the scratches are able to be seen, but not a whole lot you could have done about that. This piece of metal is already so thin, trying to sand it down, you could possibly ruin the piece of metal itself. It is what it is.
It's to
You
me.
did a good job painting it. The paint job itself is fine. You did a great job on that. It's the metal itself is.
Are you okay? Here, honey.
The issue I'm having is trying to touch it with dirty fingers.
Oh my gosh. One of us here just throws it all back together. The other one is very meticulous in their work. I am not meticulous.
I appreciate you clarifying that one. Just in case it wasn't obvious.
You're gonna slap.
I don't even know why it's bugging me, because it's not on my car.
Right.
It's probably the freaking artist in me that's like, stop!
No, don't.
You've broken already so many rules with painting that I just want to wring your neck with it.
Painting in your world and painting in my world are two different things.
Believe it or not, no, it's not. I wish I painted more with spray cans though. I really wish I did, because like I've seen some of those street performers where they do the painting with the spray cans, set the entire painting on fire,
Mm-hmm.
and it's cured and it's beautiful. It's like that stuff is just amazing to me. They use the newspaper to reveal some of the paint underneath it. And you get some really neat techniques. That's just crazy to me, and I wish I could do that. Or even a graffiti artists. I
Yeah.
love looking at graffiti. It's so pretty.
The graffiti artist, yes, I will agree with you.
Well, I mean, even sometimes the bad graffiti is like, even the graffiti that like is intended to be nuisance graffiti
Mm-hmm.
um has a sense of style to it, has a sense of meaning to it. And
I could see that, yeah.
it's, even if the intent behind it is aggressive or salty, if you will,
Mm-hmm.
it it meant something to that person, and therefore it has, I don't know, I'm babbling.
I know what you're trying to say.
I like art. That reminds me, probably not necessarily I don't want to say appropriate, but appropriate for live stream chat, but since nobody's really saying anything, I've been wanting to go to an art gallery.
I wouldn't mind it.
I mean, we won't be able to for a while anyways with this whole pandemic nonsense going on, but maybe when this is over, maybe we can go to an art gallery in St. Louis or something.
That would be nice. I would like that.
I'm sure there is one. I can poke around and see if I can find one. We can make that the same, go to that sushi place that I want to go to
Okay. Yeah, when this all...
when this all finally blows over.
So we're in good shape. I'm ready to remount this. I know you're not 100% comfortable with that, but it'll finish drying where it's at. If there's it'll finish curing. I just want it in place, and the tackiness of the paint will also help that those pieces not back off the threads.
Okay, now, I know we're streaming. I don't mean to counter you or argue with you in your own stream. I'm going to try one more time to detour you from this, and I'm going to give you reasons. Okay, will you hear me out?
Yes, I will hear you out.
Okay, at whatever you do after this, by all means, you do you, okay?
Okay.
I will bite my tongue. The main reason I do not want you to remount it is you have at least 3 coats of paint,
Mm-hmm.
none of which were completely dry before putting on the next coat of paint, therefore making the entire thing a little squishy.
Mm-hmm.
You struggled just to get it out. I remember when we were trying to put it in, it was a big struggle. So, any struggle to put it back in, you are going to scuff up. Even if it's just the edges, some of it could be seen. Paint will get scratched away. That metal underneath will be revealed. You could get rusting. You're going to have to take it off at a later date to redo it again.
Mm-hmm.
There's that.
I would, if that does happen, we'll send it off to have it powder coated.
The other
And I know
thing,
someone who's got a powder coating machine.
the other thing is you want me to do artwork on it,
Mm-hmm.
which means that if you put it on there and you manage to not scratch it or scratch away any of the paint to reveal any of the metal, you're going to have to take it back off later. But because you're putting it on there where the paint is slightly tacky,
Mm-hmm.
those nuts and bolts are going to dig into the paint and adhere to the paint. Granted, it's not going to be like glue, obviously, but when you do go to take it off, that paint will rip away.
Okay. We will deal with that when the time comes, because I can touch it up if need be. It's not like, I can touch this up later. Okay? I feel confident. All right?
Okay.
I feel confident that we can still make this work. All right? See how we compromise?
That wasn't a compromise. That was just laying out all the information and you still making your decision. Which is fine. You make your decision. It's your project.
Mm-hmm.
Just giving you my
It's one of those
somewhat professional opinion in this matter.
Right. And I do appreciate it, man. Unfortunately, I do need the car for tomorrow, and I got her disconnected right now. All right, so I'll wait for you to slide in here. hopefully you don't fuck this up. Because then she'll get to say, I was right. That would be you in this case.
Yeah. I don't want to have to say I told you so or I'm right, but I'm not looking forward to it. But we're gonna definitely make sure it gets on camera. I do like your use of the holes there. Oh, make sure those runs are on the back.
Yeah.
Oh, it's hard to get in, sorry.
I don't remember how I took it out.
You're getting it.
Trying to do this gentle like.
You have that paper towel still? Use that to push on it instead of the screwdriver. Or like in between the screwdriver and it, you can use that or whatever if you need to.
Ooh.
Do I get to say I told you so?
Almost. Yeah, you might as well go ahead and say it. Yeah, you were right.
Where? I don't see where I was right.
Right there.
Where? I know a good cheap hack for fixing cracks in your dash pad. Oh,
Yep.
You guys will have to talk about that later. That might come in handy.
Yes, indeed.
I don't see where I'm right.
Right there, right around the ignition, the key switch hole.
That should be fine if I'm not seeing it.
I can see it.
Woo! What'd you do?
I scooted it, trying to line that hole back up.
Okay. I think it should be fine. I don't see what you're seeing, but then again, you are at a different angle than me. I thought your foot was a cat. I was about to.
Come on.
Sean says he'll be back in a few minutes.
All right, Sean.
That was Sean that said about the cheap hack for the cracks in the dash.
All right. Awesome. Thank you, dear.
I wish we had some black bolts instead. Using the metal will definitely scratch it. That was adorable. It's very hard to hold the camera still. Sorry, guys. I have to stand up straight. Sorry.
You're all right, baby.
It is really nice out today.
It is. You won't be able to really see from my phone.
What, the time?
Chat. How many?
You have 2 people viewing. But the only people that were in chat today was Gotans and
God damn it.
Sean.
Now it goes back in. Isn't that something?
Maybe you were just at the wrong angle the first time.
Maybe.
Your bolt dropped on the floorboard, but it's
Yeah,
right.
I see it.
Okay,
Yeah, I seen it.
good. If not, I'd seen it, so I was gonna. Is it weird that I kind of want to wash this person's car?
I can understand.
Well, it's a solid white car, and it's dirty, and I kind of want to wash it.
Damn it. It scooted and it
Yep.
scuffed it real good. Which I knew that would possibly be a possibility right there. But that would have happened regardless, even if I had given it the time. Right there, the way it slid. it would have been the same exact thing.
You have a live audience.
I do?
Yeah, a little kid up there on the porch is watching you.
Well, that's awesome. Can't turn it towards them. We don't have parents' permission.
You really think I was gonna do that?
No, I didn't think you would. But I was just saying it.
Saying it, say it.
Yeah, more or less. Okay.
Every time you get a notification, it pops the chat back up on screen, and I can't see anything you're doing.
For the record, I hate working on dashes.
I was gonna say, you look quite comfy.
I am not.
See, look how comfy he looks like. He's so comfy. Using that dash as a pillow, you could sleep like that.
Maybe when I was a kid, I could easily do something like that. But not so much anymore since I've gotten older. Isn't that something?
I think putting stuff back in is always harder than it is taking it out.
It always is. Come on, baby. Thankfully, this is on the corner where I gotta run. Isn't that something?
I saw your pause there. You were about to flip your potato chips.
Yeah. Don't move.
I feel kind of crappy just filming you struggling. I kind of want to help.
It's okay, baby. I got it.
I know I'd just get in the way in this case.
And I can always come back in with a brush, touch up those spots.
A brush?
Mm-hmm.
A brush. Okay.
Don't worry. I know how that works. Ah.
You're putting the button back in. I can.
And I've been meaning to get under here and remount this a little proper so it's a little straighter. Oh, that looks great. I'm sorry, baby. Did I get you?
It's fine. Ow.
There we go. That looks great, doesn't it? Looks a lot better.
I'm not gonna squish your legs, I promise.
Now, I'll have to come back in, and there's a way you could do touch-up, but there's a scuff there, one over there, which I knew, and then that one there. And all you got to do, well, there's a way to do touch-up on this stuff. It's really easy. It's not that hard.
You need me anymore?
Here in a moment I will. But then I can go back to just flapping my trap. You know, there we go. Okay.
It is nice weather, but I'm also getting kind of cold.
Okay, well, we're going to hook it up, and I got to move her back to her spot, and then I can take back over completely, and you know.
Okay, cool. We can get a live shot of her running.
Yep.
Or moving, I mean.
All right. Kind of what I was thinking. See if I screwed anything up that bad. Oh, hope not. Because the project will get longer.
Reattach the battery. You won't get very far. Oh, you don't. Wow. Big yawn. And cold is making me sleepy.
All right, we're good. And then I'll just disconnect everything, and if you'll run it up for me, then I can just flap my trap, and you can just chill out, do whatever you want, and we'll just chit chat. Okay.
You just move Spirit, and I'll clean everything up after. I'll give you the camera back.
Okay. You're cool with that?
That's fine, I guess. I don't think there's a problem.
All right.
If I understood you correctly. I hope I understood him correctly. The sun is bright.
Not bad for a 45-year-old engine.
So if you want to just go ahead and take your stream, I'll go ahead and clean up everything for you.
Okay, thank you, dear. I appreciate you.
Just so you know, you have been on here for an hour. There's only
Okay.
2 people. Both of them are lurkers. So
All righty. Here, let y'all get a good look at old Project Spirit. Get a good look at her. That's what we worked on. That's my baby. Now, where we used the paint last was back here. Right back here. That's where we did that. All right. Bam! Just like that. Let's go on in and chit chat. You guys can ask some questions and some posers, inquiries, whatever it is that you got on your mind. This door's shut. All right. Ooh, I scared of the dark. Somebody help me. Oh, geez. Oh man. So we got that done, and what we'll do at a later date is I'll take some of that paint and you spray it in the top of that cap. And then what you do, once you spray it in the top of that cap, you then will take go lightly over those spots with a paintbrush, real light. And you could actually put it down in the crevices of where the paint got messed up, and nobody will know the wiser. Okay. The only way you would really know is if you were really deep into painting and things like that. I cannot see my chat.
We can see your chat.
Okay.
If anybody types anything, you'll see it.
All right. There we go.
I don't know where you want this stuff, so I'm just going to put it right here.
All right. So, so now we've gotten that done. And of course, I'll break out the. I see a total of 2 people in the live and a total of 3 likes. Again, thank you guys so much. We got something done. During these times, there's not a whole lot that we can really go out and do right now. So this is just something else that we could do. And this just proves my point. Would this have taken quite as long if we were filming? No, they probably wouldn't take it. Well, it actually depends. We moved at a little bit of a different speed, but it probably would have taken about the same amount of time. So about an hour, of your time, you can do something neat to your vehicle. I mean, so that's pretty awesome, right?
Oh, sorry. One of those people was me.
Oh.
So I already leave it.
Mm. So now I can get my nicotine fix. It kind of a running gag with some of the modern hot rodders. A lot of the young modern hot rodders, their thing is vaping. And if you go to the old school hot rodders like myself, we still smoke. We still smoke like freight trains. I don't know why that is. It's just kind of how it is, So we got that panel done. I know if weather permitting, we're definitely going to do this tomorrow. We'll clean the carburetor a little bit, put in a brand new air filter. I know it's been a couple of months since we did the last one, but because we opened it up the way that we did on Project Spirit, the problem with that is when you open them up, they draw in more air. Yes, but that means that it also draws in more dirt. And it's just kind of it's just the nature of the beast. So those of you who've got cold air intakes on modern vehicles, you probably know all too well, or at least I would hope you would know that you got to clean those a little bit more regularly. Your those filters for your cold air intake. And if you have your stock air filter in system, it runs down to your fender. It is also, if you will, when it runs down to your fender the way that it does, you still need to change it every 3 months. I know what it might say from the factory. Don't buy into that, okay? Dirty filters basically cause your vehicle to run crappy. And with modern vehicles, you won't notice it right away, but it'll run crappy enough that that there will be a loss in gas mileage and a little bit in the performance, but it'll be so subtle you won't notice it until you change the air filter. So do it every 3 months. And to me, every 3 months, with the way they set those, if it runs down to the fender, and you're driving down the road, it acts like a giant vacuum cleaner. Okay, you're just vacuuming the road at that point. I know we probably won't do this in a live, but we still need to change the transmission. So now basically everything that we're doing to the car right now is just little bitty pieces, one more step in the project. All right, so I don't think the chat has went dead per se, but I think we've nibbled this down about as far as it can go. We might go live again later. I don't know, but there's an excellent chance we may go live again later on. If that be the case, if we do go live later on again, I have no idea yet what we're going to do.
He has a gift for you.
You has a gift for me.
I made you chocolate milk.
You made chocolate milk.
Chocolate milk.
That's good stuff. Chocolate milk. So we'll definitely do some. There's an excellent chance we may go live later on. Again, I don't know what we're going to do, but we're going to do something. Along with that, let's see. I know tomorrow is Thursday. We are definitely going to do a Sober Talk Live tomorrow. Most definitely a Sober Talk Live. It seems like Thursdays are a really good day for it because we're going into the weekend and everything. So if you got any loved ones that that kind of need that something, because right now nobody's going anywhere. We're trying to stop the spread of this pandemic. So nobody's going anywhere. Go. So for an alcoholic to be able to get to a meeting is going to be like near impossible. So, welcome back, Sean. We were actually slowly winding it down. Unless you want to throw anything out at me, bounce some ideas off of me, whatever's on your mind. I know right now, I know there may be a chance I might go live later again. I have no idea what we're going to do if we do go live later. It's kind of hard to say at the moment. Okay, yeah. Holler at me about the dash pad. And we'll definitely, that's the thing with Old Spirit. I mean, it's just one of them things that, time hasn't exactly been super kind to her in some regards. But now we've got that new piece in place. It's looking pretty decent. But I'll tell you a little secret. What I'll actually do is I'll take that matte black paint and spray it down inside of a cap, and then take a real small brush and dab it in those spots where I kind of goofed it. And you won't even be able to notice the difference unless you get up real close. But at that point, you're kind of looking for something. At a later date, I know Princess Faye is probably going to take that piece out, and we'll do it again. John, you'll have to go back through. We actually got to show Spirit, driving a little bit. That would be the first time showed her, driving her live. That would be the first time we've ever done that. And I didn't do a full on burnout. I mean, I guess I could have if I wanted, but nah, I'm not going to be going out much anywhere. So let's not burn those tires up just yet. Let's hold off on that. But, again, not bad for a 45-year-old car. And my buddy Third Gen 83, who was in chat last night with us all, I had to get a code for him off of Spirit because he's going to look up some information on her. So I got that. And, again, if all goes well, we're going to do a little bit more here and there as the days grind on. When we can, when the weather's permitting, like it was beautiful today. We'll go out, we'll do something else to Project Spirit. Start getting ready for when we get the all clear that, hey, car show season is on. Let's go out. Let's have a good time. And that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to go out. We're going to have a blast. I'm going to take y'all with me. You guys are going to see some really awesome cars besides the ones we got here on the channel. The ones we got here on the channel are really cool. But, there's some really neat cars that show up these car shows. Oh, my God. And I've seen some of these cars I've seen a million times, but I still drool over them, because if you go to the ones around the area, you kind of see the same people over and over again. So that's pretty cool, But I know this year, I haven't heard anything about the Azalea Festival. So I'll try to keep you all apprised if the Azalea Festival is still going to be on. Probably not, though. I got a funny feeling they're going to have to cancel it. And I know at the rate it's going, Country Days is probably going to be canceled. And I was hoping to go do the Country Days parade this year, where I was actually going to take Project Spirit and put her in the parade, and kind of advertise the channel that way. Again, there's a lot of people in our area that do know the Prince Magnum channel, but there's still some that don't. They don't mess around with that fancy Fandango World Wide Web. They just don't. It's just kind of how it is. You say YouTube and they're like, what? And think of it like a TV show on the internet. This is how I have to explain it to some of them. And that's the older crowd, So during this time, we found something to do. We found something else to do. And to be able to take you all on the process of what it's like and everything. Now, the part that sucks is, as Princess Faye was kind of talking about in the live, it would have been better if we would have been able to kind of take some time and let it dry for about 24 hours and then do anything else that we might want to do. Any changes we wanted to make, minuscule things like that. That would have been the preferred way to do it. No, I've got it wrote down though. The last night after we got off the live, I finished my food, and then I had to go lie down because I had to be up at work right away. And then when I got home today, I was just exhausted because doing the maintenance thing at McDonald's and everything. I spend a lot of time right now. Most of it's going around cleaning and sanitizing and making sure that my crew does not get sick. So I've been spending a lot of time. I even went outside and was sanitizing the windowsills on the outside. So I actually thank you. I appreciate you understanding. So I mean, I legitimately was outside spraying this hydrogen peroxide germicide on windowsills outside where people would be touching as they're handing money in through the drive-through to keep my coworkers from getting sick. So I was around so many cleaning chemicals. I was actually afraid because I had a sore throat earlier. I was actually afraid I would not be able to go live today because of that. But I laid down for a little while, got up, talked to Princess Faye, said, this is what we're going to do today. The weather's perfect for it. I know I wanted to show you guys how to start making coffee syrups and everything. And that was the plan in yesterday's live, but the weather was just too beautiful to pass up that opportunity. So, and I'm pretty sure you all got a kick out of it, so it was really, really awesome. I was kind of hoping Gameroom would have been able to join us today. He would have got a kick out of this, and he's locked down big time right now. So I've been wondering how he's holding up. I've been wondering if he's been okay. I haven't seen him in a minute, and I've been wondering. I've been worried about our boy. He's another one that's a real good guy, and of course, Gotan's being Gotan's being in here. I got that right. He's. Oh, hey man, cars are my passion. I mean, it's what I enjoy. I know one of the next lives that we're going to do, we'll probably kind of go out and look at spirit for a moment, and then we're going to have a debate on something. And I'll kind of give you an idea. It'd be a great time to do it. I initially was going to do it I'll probably still do the video, but we'll probably go into, this, it'd be a great time to do it. Actually, no, tomorrow is Sober Talk. Friday, regardless, we'll probably do this one Friday. We might, and then Saturday, I'm actually off Saturday and Sunday, but we'll do a cooking live probably Saturday again. We'll definitely do something Saturday. And then Sunday, I might take the day off. I don't know. I know somewhere in this, I will need to take a day off and kind of just edit some video footage and things like that. Honey, are you here upstairs yet? What? Okay. Yeah. Could you do me a favor and grab the shift knob? It should be good enough for us to be okay to touch now. Thank you, dear. Show you guys this. I did this off cam. Well, I did it on camera, just not on camera live. Did this like almost 2 days ago. And it's the shift knob, and this is actually supposed to be in spirit, but the problem is that we would do it and it would last a couple of years, and the paint that we were using was a high temp. Are you okay?
I'm fine.
Here you go. This is the shift knob. It'll go. It's Sean. Yeah, it's Sean's back.
Hi, Sean.
This is the shift knob. Now this bolt will come out of the bottom, and this legitimately will just screw right in the top. And that'll be sure it's that'll deep. I can't talk.
That's all, folks.
This will be Spirit's shift knob inner, and this started its life off. Oh, he says hi.
Hey, Sean. Guess what? My middle name is Rushan, so I'm a duplicate. Because my daddy's middle name is Sean too.
But
I just like sharing that with people named Sean.
all right, and basically this will go back into Project Spirit. This started its life off as a cue ball for a pool table. I went and bought this and took it over to the machine shop at the local Votech and had them tap and thread it. And I even took the specific bolt over and said I needed to match these threads. That's it. It's just got to match these threads. And they're like, that's it? That's it. And they're like, I said, I'm fully aware. If it goes bad, it goes bad. I only paid $4 for it. Ain't no big deal. So that was what and they're like, okay. I said, just give me a phone call when it's done. I gave them my phone number and came back home. A couple weeks later, they called me and told me. We did a video about it, but that was way back when. And we paint, I would paint it and Princess Faye would put her artwork on it and it just didn't hold up. So finally I had enough of it and I used the same stuff that we used on today's live, but it's been sitting for a couple of days. And I still don't even want to mess with it all that much. We might, if I could talk her into it, we'll do a live where Princess puts her artwork on. If I could talk her into it, she might do that. You think? And I could sit off there and banter with her a little bit. But you guys can watch her do her amazing. She's an amazing artist. Oh my gosh, that pinstriping that's on Project Spirit, that is not factory. That's Princess Faye. That's her work. I couldn't even attempt to do that. You tune in for that and meet. Well, I'll be there regardless. It's my channel. But she does amazing artwork, and I would have her kind of do with a brush kind of detail. I would have her detail in the shift pattern for Project Spirit, the first, second, third, and reverse on there in the actual pattern. Even though I know what it is, it looks really cool when it's on a shift knob. And in the old days, you used to be able to get the 4-speed manual shift knobs that had the pattern of what it was in your vehicle. Well, times have changed. Nobody really uses the 4-speed shifters anymore. And and they never really, I don't think they ever really did it for the 3-speed manuals. But it would be neat to see that. So that's why we do that. And it looks really neat. And then you take it to a car show, they're like, oh, wow, that is neat how you guys, and I said, that is my wife. I cannot take credit for that. I can't take credit for that. Her amazing artwork. What do you say to that? I mean, come on. Again, I'm very lucky to have the amazing wife that I do, because she's quite possibly one of the most talented people that I could have ever possibly met. And even though we might not always agree on the methods of what we're doing, I will say right now, hands down, bar none, she has, we still get along well enough to do the projects together. So I'm very grateful for that. Believe me. Yeah. I want to be careful so I don't bang that around. I get banged up in the car enough as it is. So we had a good time today. Had a good time with you guys. Again, I know there's going to be, this is a little bit, earlier than the normal time that we go live, but we had a good time today. And I know there's going to be several people watching the playback. Now, real quick, I know you guys are all wondering, are you getting close, Prince Magnum? Are you getting close to being monetized? Yes. We counted it up today. We just got to get the watch time minutes. That's it. We're ready. And so if you guys want to help out, watch some of the old playlists. I've got some new ones that I've been working on. A new do-it-yourself budget hot rodding playlist, because once I go through that playlist, create a whole new playlist, there's going to be some older videos that are going to kind of go away. How close am I? Well, if I remember correctly, it would be close to, because they want 4,000 hours of watch time. Um, I'll be honest with you. I know between Princess Faye and I, it'll probably be up quite a bit after this stream. If you were to twist my arm, I would probably say it would be right around, I need about 3,000 hours more. But I imagine that that won't be hard to get with a lot of the lives that we've been doing. A lot of people have been watching them like crazy. But it seems like, though, in the middle of the week is my downtime, that it slows down a little bit. And then, like Thursday, Friday, it really picks up. And then over the weekend, you're killing it, you know. And then Monday and Tuesday, it's still pretty high. But then, like, Wednesday's just the day that it just doesn't. It is exciting. For the record, we were monetized at one time. The Prince Magnum channel used to be fully monetized. That is not a joke. And at that time, the way that it was back then, the way that it was, the video is still going strong, and I hate the freaking video. Life hacks for better gas mileage or something like that, and it's like a 7 minute, 1 second long video that is absolute garbage, because the way I explained everything in there was just horrible. If you were to get me to do it today, it would sound a whole lot better and I could do a much better job. And, you know, the only comments on there actually worth that you're really going to see is people who want to argue with me. So I did a part 2. And told them, I said, did you not see that there's a part 2 just for you? And then they'll go on there and you never hear another word out of them because I tell them off properly in that video. And it's really funny because in there, I actually go so far as to say, you know, there are really, there's 2 categories that deal with this. And one category is the actual mechanics. And then I explain there's really 2 types of mechanics in the world. Really, there's the ones that are by the book. That's why in the old days there used to be genuine Ford parts or genuine Chevy parts, and I explained that in that video. So those people are by the book, and for good reason, because you know you'll hear there even used to be keep your GM's GM. There used to be stickers like that on your engine, or keep genuine for, all that stuff. That's why those signs existed. So I explained that in that video that these are the people that are still by the book. Don't mess with it. It was intended that way. And I had nothing bad to say about them. But then there's the darker side of it where it's actual mechanics that, I always like to call those people keyboard warriors trying to finger bang an argument. That's actually how I word it. That there's no nice way to put it. And when I'm a moderator in other people's chats, you'll hear me ask the question, if I was standing in front of you, would you still talk that garbage? That's how I deal with trolls in other people's chats. I'll ask them straight up, would you talk that garbage if I was standing in front of you? And, and they never have an answer for some odd reason. And then I explain to them, you do realize I can get your IP address. It's very easy. I know how to find, so would you, again, I'm going to ask you, now you know this, and they won't say another word. And it's like, that's what I thought. You're a coward, go away. It's just like that one person that keeps leaving dislikes and he thinks he's hurting me. You still gave me the view, jerk. It doesn't mean what it used to mean on YouTube anymore. So it's really funny. But I will say he keeps it up. We'll go over to the community side of the Prince Magnum channel. We'll go over to his channel and we'll have some fun and remind YouTube who he really is. Don't beat cats. But today's live, we did something. Well, what it used to do is if people disliked it, YouTube wouldn't recommend it. Well, now it's all based on watch time. Okay, kind of like TV shows and ratings and that sort of thing. It helps with feedback, yes, uh, but that's only for the creator now. The way that it works with in the in the old system, it basically the more people liked a video, the more that YouTube would push it, and then you could easily get your monetization turned on. Well, nowadays the like and dislike it's just feedback for the creator, but in a nutshell, it's all based on watch time. So even if you got a video where like 50,000 people disliked it and only one person liked it, if people are still watching it, then YouTube will push it. And so that's just kind of how it works. The only people that are leaving nasty comments is the ones that think they know everything, and they don't want to think that, anytime, brother, anytime. So that's kind of how that works. So even if he puts a dislike, that one dislike, he still watched it. And even if it's for, 10 seconds, that is 10 seconds towards my watch time minutes. So he's not really hurting me per se. He's actually just hurting himself at that point. He wasted his own time that he could have been out, editing a video or doing some research, or in his case, seeking out therapy, something other bothering me. Okay. So he didn't really hurt me. It's just the nuisance side of it. And it's like, he thinks he's all empowered, but he doesn't realize, the Maverick Nation is over 1,000 strong. So how would he feel even if just a quarter of us went over and smashed the dislike button on one of his videos? He wouldn't think, and I know his thinking. He would sit there and he would actually be very upset. And I can't believe he did that. And, they're bullying me. You kept doing it to me. You kept doing it to me. So what's the difference? And, you kept bugging me. We just got tired of it and did something about it. Okay. Leave us alone, and this is the kind of thinking that he has. And, everybody's always out to get him, but in all reality, he's his own worst enemy, And for the record, the video that I'm talking about where he hit a cat on camera, it was not live. He did it, and he could have edited that out. I know he could have edited it out because I'm the one who helped him get set up with his editor. I know how his editor works because it's the same exact one that I have. It's just Windows Movie Maker. The sound, the music he runs on his channel is the same music that I run. So I know what he's capable of because it's the same exact setup that I have. And he is sitting there, and so he could have edited that out, but that's how lazy he is. So, but he never seems to put a dislike. So I already know who it is because he won't put a dislike on the do-it-yourself budget hot rodding stuff because of Project Spirit. He loves Project Spirit. That's how I know who it is. See what I'm, but he won't watch this deep in. That's how I know. So. That's sad. Isn't that something? All right. So yeah, like I said, it keeps it up. We'll do something about that. And I know some people from his channel wish that I would start working with him again, but this is a guy that, there's one video, there's a magic video that's up on my channel. I went over to his place and we were kind of hanging out and we did some filming. And I was trying to do this magic, it was the same ones that I did the other night. A lot of it was just the card tricks of it, minus some of the, it was just kind of quick and short. And as we were doing the card tricks and everything, he more or less, I had to cut out somewhere right around about 20 minutes because he would not shut up and let me do the tricks. And so so what you guys got was a very shortened version. and it was like still like 14 minutes long, but it was like I had to cut out like 20 minutes because he just would not shut up. Because he, it's like I'm the one doing the magic tricks. Just be amazed, okay? So it was like that, and I mean, honestly, I mean, it's like, dude, really, really, it doesn't work that way, Which we had a great time the other night doing magic, didn't we? We'll have to do that again. We'll have to do that again. But we had a great time, and I know I had a blast. I will say that I did mess up a couple of times, but I don't think anybody really even cared. It was the fact that I was doing something. So, all right. So that. No, it was it was an edited video way back a couple of years ago when I did it. Um, I'll tell you what. I'll have to go back through and take a look-see on the channel, and I'll see if I can find it real easy and post it to the community page so you guys could go back and look at that. Because this was long at that time. I think I was at like 250. I was at like, oh, don't worry about it, brother. I think I was at like 250 subs back then. This was like a couple years ago. And so it was like that. By the way, there was also people that would come up and say, man, you really should do work with this guy because the way that you do things, it's still funny, but yet it's serious, and you have his stuff to explain. You trying to work with him is like nails on a chalkboard. I cannot stand the guy. And so it was like that. And we don't even mention his name on the channel because I don't even want you guys to even look at the horrible stuff that he puts out. I mean, he was actually 100 subscribers ahead of me at one point. And when he pulled the stunt that he did with with the cat, he lost his original channel. He was shut down. Then he redoes, remakes a new channel, starts uploading videos again. And the last time that I looked, he was sitting at 54. Nobody wants nothing to do with him. Basically, he killed his fan base by pulling that stunt, so that's why, and before that, I had already gotten ticked off at him for bashing. And I know some people laugh because I still use this term. He was bashing the homosexual community, and my wife is bi, so I blew up and I called him out on it. Said, dude, I can't do what I'd really like to do, but I'll pay for it. Let's go over. Let's do laser tag. That's. Oh, no, brother. No. I know, no, you worry too much. I know you got my back, okay? And even if you don't see it, I know you still got my back, Like the other day when we were doing the live, a Q&A with Princess Faye, and then, I came in the middle of it, and then there was one, that was actually him who came in and pulled that little stunt. I said, nah, yeah, out of here. Y'all like, what the hey? That's what that was. That was that guy. He was wanting attention. He was wanting attention. He wants people to pay attention to him. We don't need none of that. We don't need that negativity. We're solid as a rock on this channel. We are doing what it takes right now for us to get through this mess. So we don't need a guy like that around. Number one, we love our cats. And real quick, you all remember the cooking live where I had to shoo away a cat for almost climbing inside of an oven? That cat has actually been adopted. Little Sebastian has been adopted, and the family that has him, it was actually a sister of a coworker of mine, just adores him. They're very rarely apart. So Sebastian is doing he's having a great time. And from what I understand, he's getting really, really fat. He's become like a fat cat. And he's just, the two of them are very rarely apart. And they're just really, it's really neat, how I got to ask my coworker, hey, could you send me some pictures? I'm curious how little Sebastian is doing. So we will definitely keep you apprised. And last I heard, the one cat, the first cat that we rescued, Spike, last I heard, he was doing exceptionally well, and just beautiful orange cat. That goes way back a couple of years ago. He would climb on my lap in the middle of my lives, and then of course when they shut down where you couldn't do it from your mobile, we when that all happened, he would already been adopted out. As a matter of fact, the day that Project Spirit went down for that whole year, we were actually getting ready to take him up to see to be with his new family. It was really exciting, and his to take him to his forever home. So we do have actual success stories of rescuing animals right here on the Prince Magnum channel. So that's really awesome that we have that. We did have one unsuccessful rescue, but this cat was in really bad shape, and I did everything I could. They had what is called fly strike. Basically, maggots had eaten into a wound and the wound had become infected, and I did everything I could to save that cat. But by the time we got our hands on that poor cat, it couldn't hunt anymore. It was actually a stray. It couldn't hunt. It couldn't do anything, and had went and ate some cigarette butts and was throwing those up. And uh, I did everything I could. I did everything I could, and even the vet said, "There's nothing you're going to be able to do. Just make the animal comfortable. It's only a matter of time." And right after that phone call, it was about an hour later, and had to bury that little guy. But we did what we could. We did what we could and made it comfortable in the meantime. So we did have one unsuccessful moment on the channel, and it broke my heart, you know. But in the meantime, we're going to continue to try to keep going live as much as possible. I'm going to stay with you all as much as I possibly can, and we're going to talk about as much of everything as we possibly can. We're going to have as much fun as we can during this downtime. We're going to stay together. We're going to have a good time. And if I get sick through this, I'll go live still as much as I possibly can with y'all too. So we will get through this mess. Okay. We will get through this mess. We're going to come out on the other side of this. I've been having a good time with y'all, going live every day with you. And of course, eventually, though, I am going to take a day off. I do need a little bit of relaxation time. So, all right. So that brings us to a good stopping point. Again, if you didn't get a chance, if maybe you're watching the playback or whatever, smash the like button. Let YouTube know that the Prince Magnum channel is still a force to be reckoned with. And again, we might try to go live a little bit later. I know right now where I live, it's 7 o'clock in the evening, and I still got to work tomorrow. So we may not, but I would like to, but we may not. I know tomorrow is definitely going to be a Sober Talk Live. We are definitely doing a Sober Talk Live. Friday, weather permitting, we will go out and we will try to do something with Project Spirit, and we'll try to do we'll do some talk about Project Spirit. We'll definitely go live about that. Saturday, I have no idea, but I'll have a couple of days off. I might take my day off Saturday, maybe not. I might try to do a cooking live that day. But if Friday the weather is bad, thank you, brother, for being here for me. Thank you. If Friday the weather is bad, it'll definitely be a cooking live. Okay, we will go back to urban survival. It'll be urban survival number 3, because there's always something we can do for our daily survival as far as food goes. And I've got plenty of content for that. Oh my gosh, I got plenty of content. I know at some point we are going to have to do. We're going to be doing a chicken stock. I know we're definitely going to be doing that. Remember, folks, the more we do, as far as our our food supplies go, we're going to look at how we can extend our food supplies. And then, of course, like I said, tomorrow is definitely going to be Sober Talk. But we're going to play it by ear at this point, okay? Other than tomorrow. All right, so that brings us to our stopping point. Again, thank you all for being here with me. As usual, get out there and do as much of a project as you possibly can. Right now, idle hands and a creative mind are going to create stir craziness like you would not believe. Okay? If you have a sweetheart, do as much as you can to sweep her off her feet. Do something special for her today, especially in these dark times. Believe me, she needs it. And as always, for all of you out there, no matter what's going on right now, especially right now, if no one has told you that they love you today, Prince Magnum does. God bless you and have a happy 24. Thank you.